Recently, I've had a lot of people send, I think about 2 or 3 different videos to me about how YouTubers have ruined photography, influencers have ruined photography, and social media has ruined photography. Now, before I begin, I want to just make sure that everyone's aware. I'm not coming at anyone who has opinions on social media or influencers or YouTubers ruining photography. That's someone's opinion. But I do want to bring up the fact that that isn't inherently true. And honestly, photography is in the best space that it's ever been. You see, social media, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, just the popularity of photography, it hasn't hurt photography as the art at all. The only thing that it really hurts is the egos and the expectations of those who are more concerned about what photography can give to them instead of what photography can do for them. It's discussed a lot about how social media, how Instagram specifically has ruined photography. Everyone just takes photos for clicks. Everyone's taking the same photo. Everyone's doing the same thing. The people that shoot the exact same photos of me are popular because of the bias, because of the algorithm, because of this, that, and the other. And I don't subscribe to that. I don't think it's true. And I think that whenever you release yourself from that place of entitlement, that my work is better because I say so and because it looks similar to people that I idol worship, therefore I must get the applause and the praise and the validation from others online, I think that you're going to have a more peaceful place that you're at. I talk to so many people that are small creator accounts and so many people that are on Instagram or on YouTube or on Twitter or on Threads or whatever, whatnot, and what have you, that enjoy photography regardless of the amount of praise they get from anything. I talk to a lot of people that enjoy film, that enjoy digital, not because someone said that it's the better way to take a photo or someone said this is what you need to do in order to be artistic, but because they just choose to enjoy it. Their heart and soul isn't tied to anything about the social media experience. They are there for the community. And I think that's one of the things that's not talked about or projected out into the ether enough, is the fact that majority of people online that are sharing their images don't really care about the glitz and glamour and the praise. They like sharing them because they like the community. A lot of people are buying digital point and shoots, film point and shoots, and they don't care about the specs on a camera. They don't care about what lens is in their point and shoot or what film stock they have. What they care about is the fact that they get images back that captured their feeling of community, captured their friends and family, and they go with that. A lot of people get inspired to take photos on film, on digital, of different places. And yes, they may repeat places like at the Golden Gate Bridge. Yes, they may repeat the same photos in Washington, D.C. and New York and Utah, etc., etc. But the thing to always think about is, it's great that they're inspired enough that they want to go take the exact same photo, but take it for themselves to be able to say, I did that. The idea that everything in art and that all of your photography is original whenever all of us are influenced by some outside source is ridiculous. Let me just put it out there right now. Influencers, social media, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, whatever it is, it's not hurting your photography. It's not holding you back. It's not oversaturating the market. Photography is more popular, and now you feel less and less special because of the little things that you can do. But it's only from people that feel entitled and feel like they aren't where they are, and it's easier to blame a social media platform, or it's easier if you're someone who already has the larger platform to kind of coddle the masses and to pander to the masses by saying something that you feel will get a reaction. Even though you're the influencer, you're the creator, you're the YouTuber, that is exactly the person that you're pushing hate against. All I've seen over the past few days and past few weeks and past year, since this became an even bigger topic, especially whenever Vero came out and people talking about being Vero verified and how Instagram was killing our reach and how now none of us can grow and none of us can be big, is the only thing that I've noticed is that through all of this, it all comes down to this feeling of I deserve. And even more, all this is being fed into us by influencers and by YouTubers and by people in social media who were never photographers before they put themselves in front of a camera and pressed record. You guys, we have to understand that not everyone is going to be an influencer, and not everyone is going to have a gallery at, in New York. Not everyone's going to be in a moment, and not everyone is going to go through with publishing their own book. And that's fine. But you also have to understand that not everyone expects that. To say that social media, to say that something is an absolute has ruined this art form is completely wrong. More and more people are a part of photography, whether it's through their cell phones, whether it's through, little Polaroid cameras, whether it's through old film or digital cameras. More and more people are picking up a camera and realizing how important and how valuable it is to them to be able to capture images of their friends and family and all these different situations, and to be able to archive and share that. Listen, you guys, it doesn't matter if you're big or small creator. Share your artwork. It's going to mean something to someone. Share your story. It's going to have an impact on someone, whether or not that's 5 million people or whether or not that's 5 people. It's easy to blame someone else and something else. But the issue is, why isn't everyone complaining? Why isn't it that the hobbyist photographer who likes to take macro photos of bugs complaining about social media ruining them? Why isn't it that the person, first year in college, freshman, taking photos on an old film camera or an old digital camera, posting to their Instagram, why aren't they complaining about their reach whenever they're posting photos of them and their friends? Why is it that the professionals who are working for major publications, professionals that are working freelance for the New York Times, for different sports, different teams, etc., why aren't they complaining about their reach even though they're getting to live out their dreams whenever social media must matter? It's because it doesn't. But the expectation of people complaining about social media ruining photography, the ironic part is it matters more to them than their actual work. Again, let's take a step back to a topic I touched on earlier. This idea that, well, everything looks the same. I open up my Instagram and everything's the same and everything's the same. There's two things that happen whenever you have this conversation in and of yourself, because I used to think like this as well. But we have to remember, we are thrown in our face the exact same 10 people in the exact same photo books all the time about who are the greats and who we should study. And if we're all regurgitating the exact same information over and over and over again, these beginning photographers, guess who they're looking at and guess who they're trying to replicate on their way to learning composition and lighting. The exact same thing whenever it comes to with social media. We're recommending the exact same people over and over again. And we're surprised that we have people that are beginners that have images that look very, very much the same. The second way to look at this is this, and this is what I was want to talk about originally, this idea of we can always get better at photography. We don't. Past a certain point, once you understand lighting and composition and all these things and how to move things around and use your surroundings, you don't get better at photography. You just have a different taste. You may be inspired by an Henri Cartier-Bresson on the 50mm one day, and then look at a Gary Winogrand at 28mm the next day, and then have 2 different catalogs in 2 years. Does it mean your year 8 catalog of Henri Cartier-Bresson is 10 times worse than your new catalog in year 9 of your photography journey as Gary Winogrand? It absolutely doesn't. It just means that your taste was different. And a lot of times we see these things. We see, oh my gosh, everyone's taking this exact same photo. When again, just like you, who was influenced by someone from the outside, another artist, and you want to take photos in that same lane, this focal length, this type of lighting, this type of color, this type of film stock, you have people doing the exact same thing, but you have a distaste for it. And why is that? And again, it goes back to that subconscious idea that we are entitled to more, that we are different, that we were special, that we were stood out from the crowd whenever it was just us on here, before everyone was able to afford a good camera, before everyone learned how to shoot film. That's gatekeeping. And in and of yourself, that's kind of sad, because you can't even recognize how good your work is because you're too busy critiquing what your image is up against someone else's and hating on the fact that new people in photography are enjoying photography and taking the exact same inspirations you took on your way in your photography journey. The last thing I want to touch on is, again, just this idea of the fact that we're being told this like ad nauseum by social media, influencers, YouTubers, etc. Listen, you guys, I want to just go out and say it right now. A lot of the people that we watch on YouTube, a lot of the people that we look at on Instagram, etc., they have a right to these opinions. They have a right to say them. But to believe that because they're saying them, that it's from an always sincere place and that they didn't profit and that they're not currently profiting off this topic is ridiculous. There's a reason why you're being told this in such frequency. The same way how last year, every photography channel made an I almost quit photography or I'm quitting photography video. This is the exact same thing. The fad is to make you think that it's someone else's fault at this point. Before, it was the fact that we are all chasing trends and I'm quitting because I'm comparing myself to others, and it's the exact same thing. When the fact is, do you want to know why you all feel like social media, why YouTube, why Instagram, why influencers are ruining photography? Because these same influencers that are feeding you all of this BS, these are the people you're comparing yourself against because you want to be this. It has nothing to do with anything what social media is trying to keep away from you, or the fact that there's now this toxic generation of photographers that love Instagram. It's just the fact that you're not where you're at. And you have to come to peace with that. Listen, it takes time to become great at anything. Look at the ages of your favorite photographers, your favorite directors, your favorite etc. And look at the ages that they themselves became famous, that they themselves were able to afford the means of their own living, that they themselves were able to be in certain galleries, that they themselves started their master classes. It's not at 20. It's not at 21. For the most of them, I don't know, it could be a couple, but for the most part, it was a slow burn. It was a slow grind. And we have gotten away from being okay with the slow burn and the slow grind because these same influencers that are telling us that social media and Instagram and YouTube have ruined us are the same ones that fed us that if you buy this 1.2 lens for $4,000, you're a professional. That if you buy this camera for $5,000, your images will look professional. That if you buy this gear, this lighting system, these apertures for $2,000, $3,000, for $500, for $1,000, you buy this Rode Video Mic Pro, you buy all of this, you're gonna be professional and you're gonna be seen. They laid out a blueprint for us that wasn't feasible for so many reasons beyond the fact that maybe we're just not entertaining, maybe the right people haven't seen our work, and maybe the fact is that the, Instagram just isn't rewarding the way that it was, or YouTube wasn't. But what do they tell you? That if you were to get this, you'd be professional. Remember, everyone wasn't gushing over fast lenses and bokeh and 24mm or this millimeter or that millimeter until someone on YouTube or one of these influencers makes a video about it. You got to remember that whenever it comes to film photography wasn't popping off at the rate it was to where so many beginners were jumping in until an influencer introduced us to it. These exact same people that have fed you over and over and over and over again that if you get this, your images will look beautiful. That film's better because it gives you this image. This lens is better, this system's better because it gives you this, this, and this is what clients love, to people who don't have clientele. These are the people that you're comparing yourself to. These are the people that internally you are thinking, okay, if I can get this, I can reach their level because my work is the same. And let me tell you, it is. This job isn't hard. I'm literally about to jump on a plane in 3 days to San Francisco to do some work. It's not that hard. It isn't. I click a button and I know exposure, I know composition, and I know how to direct people, and that's it. It's not that hard. But the belief is that if you buy this gear, it automatically gets you to this place. It's not true. The hardest part of being known in photography, videography, is knowing the right people. It's the networking. You can work all your life and get the right work and get the right images and have impactful things, but sometimes you just got to know the right person. And you have to stop judging yourself off of success. Listen, I've got 12,000 subscribers. I think at the time of making this video, I've got 12,500 subscribers. I checked it this morning. I never believed it would be like this. I made this YouTube channel because I was lonely. I made this YouTube channel because I was working from home. I was dealing with the passing of one of my parents, and I just wanted community, someone to talk to. And it worked. I have now 12,500 people that I'm able to discuss things with on Instagram, on YouTube, on Threads, and I'm able to access people and have fun in different cities, fun in my own city, fun in different states with these people because they just want to talk photography. My goal has been met, and it's bringing in a little bit of money. I make $300 to $600 every month off of YouTube. That's a big deal. But to a lot of people, my dreams and my goals seem small. They're not looking at me. They're looking at Manny Ortiz. They're looking at Peter McKinnon. That's the goal that they want. And you have to remember, Manny Ortiz, Peter McKinnon, Volandis, Matt Day, 6, 7, 8, 9 years before they broke that 50,000 mark, that 30,000 mark. It takes time. But because these people are telling you that if you get it now, you'll be there immediately, it takes its toll on us internally. So this was just a long rant just to discuss this. I don't subscribe to the idea that social media, that influencers and YouTube has ruined photography, because it hasn't. It's made it more accessible, and that is the bottom line. That is the point. Photography should be accessible for everyone. Everyone should be able to get outside, take photos, and share them, and to be able to start community. We don't own photography. We don't own the rights to photography. We don't own the rules to photography. And every single person out there, regardless of what gear you have, what you're doing, whether or not you're doing it right or wrong, you should be able to go out there and take photos. Now be respectful, and don't be exploitive, but go out there and take some photos. I want you guys to know I appreciate you. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Remember to take it light, but take it, and have a good one.